buddy AJ in the building on the goddamn Mac. He couldn't pull up, so we had to figure out some way to get him here.
Yes, sir.
I'm just happy that Buddy pulled up. But Buddy here. Mavs and Celtics game 1 just happened last night, and my buddy Isaiah, he said, "Man, I woke up, my pillow was soaking wet from all the tears I had last night going to bed. I had to cry myself to sleep."
This guy.
Isaiah and AJ, I didn't get to watch the game. I went to a comedy show last night. I watched the first quarter and a half before the show started, but then they're like, "Put your phones away or else you get kicked out." I was like, it is a 12-point game right now. I could probably wait. But so I missed most of the game. I watched the highlights and I watched like a deeper dive video into it. So I haven't got a chance to watch the full game yet on the NBA app, but I will. But I saw a little bit of stuff. I want to ask these two first. I'll start with Isaiah. What did you see last night?
Oof. I saw a lot from the Celtics and I saw a little from the Mavericks, man. It wasn't great. I mean, it started off, I'm like, yeah, okay. First couple buckets, we're in the game, it's close a little bit. And then next thing you know, here comes Kristaps Porzingis off the bench. And oh my goodness, this man was on fire. I think he was just feeling the crowd. He saw a couple friendly faces on the other side, made him feel a little good about himself, and he started popping that thing. They go on a big run, and it wasn't much looking back from there. And I mean, the Mavs kind of got back into it a little bit in the third quarter. You see Luka step his game up a little bit, get a little mad, talk his stuff a little bit. But I mean, after that, the Celtics go on an 8-0 run, crush it, go back up 16. It not looking good. I mean, you can tell that the Celtics defense was ready for this game and that the Mavericks defense wasn't. So, I mean, that's kind of most of my takeaways. Just
what I noticed in the film that I watched was that the Celtics do not care who gets switched on to Luka. They're gonna blitz that or whatever and let that roll man. Like they're gonna drop on all their coverage because they know Luka's gonna make that pass and they're happy with anyone stepping up to guard them except for maybe Al Horford. But either than that, like they're fine playing. I don't say fine playing one-on-one. They know Luka's gonna get 30, and he did. He's gonna get 30 either way, and so it's really stepping up on those other guys. So they're not gonna try to blitz Luka and let him make others be open and get buckets, see it go in, get in a rhythm. So they're gonna really just let him play that one-on-one. And if he gets an open shot, gets someone on his hip like he usually does off that screen, they're gonna live with that too, or live with a step back three, other than a roll, a lob to Lively or Gafford, or hitting one of the guys in the corner for three. And man, Porzingis was balling. I got to see Porzingis his first 15 minutes or whatever it was. Yeah. He was hooping. Yep. He was taking him off the dribble. I saw him get it on the elbow. He said, "Get off me, rise up, shoot that thing right in dude's face." And I was like, "Dude, he is out here to play. Hey, this is what you get for trying to put me in the corner and let Luka cook." But yeah, that's really. I got to see Porzingis ball out, but I didn't get to see the rest of it. AJ, what did you think?
Yeah, I think it's a good time, obviously, if you haven't watched episode 2, go watch it, because we talked about Porzingis, man. He is the X factor in this series. He came off the bench, Zeddy said he put up 18 points in 13 minutes. The Celtics won on a 23-5 run to end the first quarter. I think they were up like 37-20. They shot 58% in the first quarter compared to the Mavs' abysmal like 26-30%. Other than that Mavs little run that they had, where quite honestly it was just the Celtics struggling to shoot the three.
Yep.
The Mavs did not look good. So I'm interested to see what Jason Kidd will do. They cannot stop Jalen Brown on the drive. That's one of the big takeaways I saw. But it'll be interesting to see what Jason Kidd defensively wants to change. They went to a switch a little bit late in the fourth, or zone late in the fourth, and it worked a little bit. But they got some work to do, that's for sure.
Yeah, I got to see Jaylen Brown ball over too. I saw him pick some people's pockets, block a couple shots. He really was doing everything. And like, if you're the Celtics, you're like, okay, I want Jaylen Brown on this dude the whole time. He's gonna be the biggest pest. And honestly, he was the best player. He was the best player on both ends of the court. He was killing it. And
100%.
Who did he just dunk all over? Who did he dunk on? It was like Gaffer, Lively, or PJ or someone. He just went up there and yammed that thing.
No, it was over Kyrie and PJ, I think. Yeah, that's what I think it was.
Yeah, dude, their drive, because they don't want to help on the drive because the Celtics shoot threes.
Yeah.
They need to stay home, but the thing is that drive, they're getting beat off the dribble, man.
No, that's what I'm saying, bro. With Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and Jason Tatum didn't even have like a crazy box score game, but like he was impactful just with his drive into the basket because, dude, one-on-one, game one, not a single player on the Mavericks could guard Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum. And when they're driving to the lane and you got three guys crashing, that leaves automatically two dudes wide open. So, like, pretty much damn near every time down the court, they were getting two dudes wide open. And when you got guys at home and the crowd's as live as it is and it's the finals, they're not going to miss those shots, dude. And especially not when guys are heating up like Porzingis, man. Don't leave that man open. And even when he wasn't open, he was hitting shots.
Well, I don't know if you guys saw, but the Celtics actually set an NBA final record of 7 players with multiple three-pointers made.
Yep.
So that is exactly correct when you guys talk about the match crashed way too much.
Yep.
They just let those guys open and they got killed. We talked about how the Celtics live and die on the three, and they killed the match.
They lived by last night, man.
Oh, I'm looking at it right now. Every player that shot a three made at least 2 for the Celtics, except for Peyton Pritchard, who went 0 for 5.
So they could have had 8 players instead of 7.
Yeah,
exactly.
If he would have made 2 of them.
Wow.
But
wow.
Also, I was gonna ask, Kyrie showing up, going 6 for 19, 0 for 5 from 3. He had a minus 19 in the plus minus 12 total points. Every now and then you will get a sneaker. Kyrie's had 9, 11, 12 before. Are you worried about Kyrie?
I'll tell you this. I think the Boston crowd might have gotten into it a little bit. I don't think Kyrie's necessarily a player who's going to let the crowd get into his head. But like every single time he touched the ball, they booed so loud that you could hear it through the TV, like clear as day. And I mean, I doubt he's going to let that affect him. But like he was definitely, I think, trying to make harder shots than he needed to because like he's like, all right, I'm gonna show y'all. Because like I think the first shot he made was over Al Horford and Drew Holiday, and he goes up, gets blocked by Horford, double takes it, shoots it again, and makes the shot. Shit was outrageous.
So I missed most of the game. So I saw that Luka, he had 1 assist, but he only had 6 passes through the whole game that were assist worthy. So like he passed it to him, they shot it, and they missed. So it was 1 for 6, or it might have been 1 for 5. It was something like that. To me, when I'm thinking, was this a game where Luka was like, okay, these guys aren't playing well, I need to step it up and shoot myself, or was he just not finding the guys, or was he not looking?
Honestly, what I think it was a combination of this. I think Kyrie was definitely looking to get to a shot as well, and if Luka passes to Kyrie, he's going to get into his bag. He's not going to get assists off that. But also, there was a lot of times where it seemed peculiar to me where, like, Derrick Jones Jr. and P.J. Washington were just driving to the lane and trying to finish over, like, 3 guys. And, like, I don't know. I just don't think it's not a great idea, especially not when Porzingis is in the game. You're going to finish over 7-3 Porzingis.
Josh Green trying to dunk on him.
You know what I mean?
The last couple
exactly.
seconds.
You know what I mean? Even guys like Josh Green were just taking it straight to the rack. And
he thought he was LeBron.
Yeah.
He really did.
What I'll say about this whole situation is, before garbage time, about 6 minutes left in the 4th quarter, the Mavs had as many assists as the Celtics had blocks in the game. They only had about 9 assists the entire game.
Yep.
I think Luka's shooting was to try and make up for Derrick Jones and PJ missing those opportunities. Josh Green didn't play a great game either. expect him to shoot damn near 30 shots a game, but he was the only one that could score for him last time, and they could not get any assists.
And the reason why they couldn't get any assists is because they couldn't get a 3-pointer to fall. They made 5 3-pointers the entire game. The first one was literally the beginning of the game. Derrick Jones Jr. makes a 3. I'm pretty sure it was the Mavs' first 3 points on the board, and Luka made the other 4. So
Yep.
it's tough. It's tough when you literally can't make a 3-pointer. It's hard to win a game like that for sure.
Yeah, shooting wise, the Mavs had a terrible game. I don't expect them to do that again. It could have been the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Could have been too much rest. We don't really know. Terrible shooting night for the Mavs. They need that to change if they want to win some games.
Yeah, and it definitely seemed like every second chance opportunity that the Celtics got, they capitalized on it. And the only time the Mavericks did that was on their little run in the third quarter. But other than that,
correct.
You know what I mean? They were just, anytime they get a second chance opportunity, they'd fumble it out of bounds or take a bad shot or, just turn it. It wasn't great.
Mm-hmm. I say my final takeaway from this game is Luka needs to slow his game down, and same with Kyrie as well. You could say it with the whole Mavs when you were talking about earlier, PJ and Derrick Jones driving when it was kind of unnecessary.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But I watched Kyrie and Luka pull up like 4 times in transition and just trying to make a 3, and they both missed all the time.
Yeah.
I wish they would slow their offense down a little bit more. Obviously, the Celtics are the second best defense in the league, but we just saw the Mavericks take care of the best defense in the league.
I will say
it's completely different defenses, though.
Yeah.
It's
correct.
It's their way. The Timberwolves defense is heavily funnel them inside, let Gobert handle
heavily
them.
post protect.
With this one, they have perimeter
Yep.
defensive perimeter players that can switch on to almost everyone, and they don't have to funny win. But if you do get in, you got Porzingis, you got Al Horford, Luke Cornett down there. But my main thing go ahead.
I noticed that they were perfectly fine with when they did the switch. They were perfectly fine with leaving Tatum on the big, and that eliminated those lob threats that Lively and Gafford are.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Luka wasn't able to shoot over Porzingis and Horford. He struggled with that. So if the Celtics are able to eliminate that lob threat as well, then it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for the Mavs.
Yeah. So in that first quarter I watched, I also wanted to say that when a team comes out like that, it's almost impossible to come back from. So the Celtics shot 7 for 15 from 3 in the first quarter. Mavs shot 2 of 8, and that's tough to overcome.
Yeah.
That's 15 points right there, in difference. Where it's hard to come by. I was surprised even when I saw that they got it back into 8.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yo, what is going on?
Mm-hmm.
And then boom, another blowout. So they do show you that they are able to come back and make it they can compete with them for sure. And so, but the Celtics also showed that they ain't fucking with us. Oh, okay, yeah, for a quarter and a half, sure, go ahead, but there's another 2.5 quarters.
Yeah, I get you. The they ain't fucking with us is crazy because the Mavs aren't going to shoot 6 for 26 again from 3-pointer. I can guarantee you that. And I think since we're talking about this, I say we go straight into Game 2 predictions. I do not think that the Celtics. I don't think the Mavericks will look like that again in Game 2. Can the Celtics pull off a 10-point win maybe, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it'll be an interesting game the whole time, and if the Celtics do pull it off, it'll be maybe them pulling away in the third or the fourth quarter. But if it's a close game in the fourth, I like my Mavs every time, and I'll stand by that.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Go ahead.
I would agree if it's close. I'm gonna go with. I would just go with Kyrie in general.
Well, that's what.
It's
And
a close
Kyrie
game.
6 and 19 last game. He didn't show himself well.
No, but how I'm kind of picturing right now is just a well-oiled machine is in the Boston. they're almost a perfect team. Honestly, they have 5 All-Stars.
Yep.
6, sure, and it's crazy too. But like the Mavs, they have that potential where they could score like 140 points. Maybe not against the Celtics, but they can put buckets up like that. But they also showed you they can score 80. So
I think I saw a stat the other day that the Mavs are 1-11 when they don't put up 100 points. So I think if their offense is not rolling, the series will be long. But at the same time, I don't know if we can expect the Celtics to have six players put up double digits every single game.
I agree with that as well. I mean, they shoot
We
threes.
talked about it. We talked about it. If one player is cold, that can flip the entire game for the Mavs. We saw it on that run a little bit when they finally started missing threes. They went 1 for 8 before Tatum and Brown decided it was their game. But if any players in the Celtics are cold, the Mavs can make runs. It's a game of runs. So
The Celtics did have a player that was cold. Peyton Pritchard. He didn't make a single shot.
Yes, yeah.
But he is the worst one.
I was gonna say, and the thing was, he was also getting played by his performance. So as he was missing those shots, he wasn't getting played as many minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But if say Derek White has a bad game or Drew Holiday, you know what I mean? Yeah. I see what you guys are saying. I don't want to say the Mavericks winning this next game, but I'm just who I'm rooting for. My prediction is going to be Celtics win by 8 at home.
I will say this. I'll say this. Jason Kidd is notorious. I said this last episode. Jason Kidd is notorious for dropping game 1. He is like, the stat is like he's like 1-6 in game 1s in the NBA playoffs.
He just won.
Exactly. And his one
just
win
won.
was against the Timberwolves last series, which was like definitely an anomaly. The Mavericks just came out on smoke against the Timberwolves. I liked it. I loved it. But I definitely think game 2, he's gonna stick to his guys that he saw play well in game 1, or not? Yeah, exactly. In game 1, and I don't know. I think he'll have a better scheme defensively because I feel like last game it just kind of fell apart and he didn't do much about it. So yeah, I definitely look to see Jason Kidd's wrinkles in this one.
I would say that game 2 has to be PJ Washington's game. I saw one matchup in that last game 1 when they went on their run. PJ can do whatever he wants to Derek White. Derek White is too little for PJ.
Yeah.
And if PJ can start exposing that matchup and hit some threes, his shot has been terrible since Thunder series.
Since the Thunder series, yep.
Yeah, since the Thunder series. But I saw him getting his confidence a little bit during that run. He started flexing on people.
Yeah, you saw him use his size inside. It's just that outside shot is not falling for
Yeah,
him.
it's gotta fall.
You think he got like the yips?
I don't know.
I'm not sure. One thing that I noticed in the Thunder series is the Mavs shot a lot of corner threes, and they didn't get a lot of those in game 1. The Celtics are very good at running that zone defense and boxing out.
They close out well. They close out really well.
Yes, they scored, not block. They close out well.
Yeah, so like a lot of the open threes that we usually get, like you're saying in the corner and stuff like that, they're closing out on them, so they're not as open as they usually would be. You know what I mean?
I'd like to see Kyrie drive more next series, and I think that can get PJ Washington and Derek Jones open a little more.
Yeah, I definitely can see that, and it's weird. It's so weird too because I've always seen PJ Washington as like a solid stretch big. So like this 3-point shot was not what I was worried about with him coming into these last couple games where he's been struggling. He's always been a solid 3-point shooter. Like he's a 32%.
Yeah,
he's 32% from his whole career. But like 0 for 3, you gotta make at least one, bro. You gotta make one.
I mean, but we're talking about threes in game 1 where you gotta remember the Mavs shot 5 for 26, 6 for 26.
Yeah.
No one made any threes in game 1.
Yes.
Except for Luka.
Yes. So
Exactly.
He had 4 of the 7.
I think it's big. I think it's big for Kyrie and Luka to drive more in this next series. When they got the switch, they were comfortable taking threes. That could have been because they were down so much.
Luka's not even much of a driver though.
He likes to get people on his hip.
He puts them on your hip and he like.
Yep.
He like throws it back on him and
Yep.
shoots that thing.
I'd like to see him.
But when he gets into the lane, he either gets it to somebody or he usually gets a good look. So I mean.
Yeah, he gets a good look, but he just doesn't come off the screen and go downhill to the rim.
Oh, straight to the
That's
rack.
just what he doesn't do. He puts it on his hip and he finds his open spot.
He hasn't been doing it, I think, partially because his knee. Because I saw him do it a few times against the Thunder out of nowhere.
All right, welcome back. We just had some technical difficulties with my boy AJ. He forgot to pay his bill. He got the welfare Wi-Fi, Walmart Wi-Fi, McDonald's Wi-Fi. He got that hotspot Wi-Fi. He got the neighbor's Wi-Fi.
Man, I wish I could be there in person, but we're dealing with technical difficulties. But let's talk a little bit about some of the recent sports news that's been going on in the past few weeks. I want to start off with football. Did you guys see HBO Hard Knocks training camp is the Chicago Bears this year? I watched episode 1 between you guys, and you guys talked about how Caleb Williams threw 7 picks. What do you guys think about this Bears team, and what do you think they can do this year?
I don't know anything with their defense, but I know if Caleb Williams is anything what people have been talking about, this could be a generational episode, like season of Hard Knocks. Like, say he does become one of the best quarterbacks ever. Do you know how cool that would be to see a Hard Knocks of his rookie year going in there, seeing how he adjusts going into the league and doing all that stuff? So yeah, that'd be really cool. I'm not worried about their offense at all. I guess maybe a little bit in Caleb Williams, but like he's a rookie quarterback. I don't have the highest expectations. There are some rookies that come in and kill it, like Ben Roethlisberger and like Peyton Manning, Deshaun Watson, C.J. Stroud, guys like that. But it'd be cool if he did, but some guys don't do that. Like, I'm a huge guy that I think you need to give these guys time. Like, Kyle Lowry was in the league for like 4 years before he was like any good. Like, he was on the Rockets, I think he was on the Grizzlies, and he finally made it over to the Raptors, and he was solid. He probably one of their best players they've ever had. Not because of that skill, but just had a straight commitment and never mind. But anyways, yeah, I think it's gonna be really cool to see them. They just got so many offensive weapons, and like Keenan Allen, they still have DJ Moore. They got what was it, Adunze?
Yep.
They got Adunze. They got was it DeAndre Swift?
Yeah, they did.
Like their offense, they still got Cole Kmet.
Already got DJ Moore.
They got Space Kmet. Yeah, like their offense, I'm not worried about. I think that'd be fun to see in training camp because those guys like Keenan Allen, elite wide receiver like that, just had a crazy year.
Just had probably a career year. Like,
yeah, for a lot of people.
You know what I mean?
Not just him. That'd be a career year for a lot of people.
Yes.
So yeah, it's gonna be really cool to see. It's gonna be entertaining, and we're gonna look back on it at the end of the season to see like we should have seen that shit coming, or maybe not.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Zay, I have a question for you.
Yep.
How do you feel they'll deal with the media pressure and stuff? Obviously, Fields was put in a different situation than Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams has new offensive coordinator, a whole new offense. What's the pressure for him to perform better than Fields did? Because Fields had a worse team.
I don't even think it's necessarily pressure from last year. I think it's pressure to be Caleb Williams. I think just like all the hype he has himself, just to like kind of be what he was in college. If he could be even close to that in the league, he's going to be a really good quarterback.
Well, they're throwing names like Patrick Mahomes around with him. Like, there's going to be pressure. I think they're just happy to have like an actual generational potential quarterback. Like Justin Fields, they're like, oh yeah, this guy can stick and move. But like, and he had that one crazy throw. Ohio State, that's what got him drafted. But like, this is the kind of guy, like the number 1 overall pick, the guy you guys have been looking forward for 2 years. Like, even if he has a bad year, they're still going to embrace him with open arms.
That's what I was going to say.
Like, they're not pushing on him right now.
It kind of feels like the Bears are, like, welcoming him in, whether with Justin Fields, it was kind of like all right, we got to see what this guy can do. Like, it's like you know what I mean? It kind of feels like...
Show us why we picked you.
Yeah.
And we're stupid for doing it.
Exactly. And it kind of feels like with Caleb Williams, they're like, all right, this is our guy. We're getting him in here. Let's surround him with weapons and make sure he's in a position to do good. And they definitely didn't do that with Justin Fields at all.
they had the opportunity, but like they could have easily brought back Justin Fields for this team, and they could have went and got Marvin Harrison.
Yeah.
And that would have been insane.
Yeah.
But why take the chance? You know what I mean? You don't. You're shooting at potential. I think Justin Fields is good. I think he can be a solid quarterback. He's definitely going to be that quarterback at least halfway through the season, I think.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, AJ?
You know, I'm very excited about this Bears team. They are in a tough division, but I think watching this HBO Hard Knocks new offense coordinator, it'll be an entire new offense pretty much for the Bears. I'm hoping they can get away from that run heavy offense they had last year. I think if their defense can be good, they can be top 2. Obviously the Packers lines are very good. But I'll be excited to watch Caleb grow throughout his rookie season.
I like to pivot here a little bit since we were kind of talking about Justin Fields a little bit. What do you think about Justin? This is for Jay. What do you think about Justin Fields in Pittsburgh? Because obviously a report comes out a couple weeks ago, a month ago, or something like that. Justin Fields is going to be a kick returner. Like, okay, what are we doing? What do you think about that, man?
To be completely honest, I think that's just Arthur Smith trying to troll the other coordinators in the league.
Yeah.
The thing with Justin Fields is, with the contract he's on right now, if we play him more than 50% of the season, we owe the Bears way too much money.
Gotcha.
So I think he'll sit under Russell Wilson. I think the Steelers are set with Russell Wilson as QB1. We have plenty of offensive weapons for him. I don't really think you need to risk Justin Fields getting hurt. Because obviously the plan with Fields is to have him sit under for a few years and then let him be the guy. So I think it'd be stupid to have Justin Fields do anything too fast unless Wilson gets hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited to see. Hopefully he can learn and grow, and in 2 or 3 years he could be very good on a very good team.
Right.
Yeah. Jay's a big Steelers fan, if you don't know. AJ loves the Steelers. And Isaiah loves the Broncos. Now they got his quarterback. After all the shit talking Jay was doing last year, now it's his quarterback.
Well, what's funny is that during the offseason, I wanted the Broncos to go and get Justin Fields, and the Steelers end up getting Russell Wilson from us for a penny, and we still got to pay him like $80 million, and they go and get Justin Fields too for a couple picks that
Don't matter.
we had, but it is what it is. So it's definitely a funny situation.
What you got next, Jay?
I like to stick in the NFL a little bit. I feel like we've been covering basketball for quite a while.
Yep.
I do want to cover this guy. This guy hits close to home as a wrestler. I am a JUCO college wrestler. A guy named Gable Steveson is signing with the Bills. If you don't know who Gable Steveson is, he was 85-2 in NCAA wrestling. He's a 2-time NCAA champ. He was the Dan Hodge winner in 2022, which is kind of like wrestling's Heisman.
MVP.
He used to be with, yep. He used to be signed with WWE. Apparently, he's never played high school or college football, but the Bills gave him a tryout.
Yeah.
How much bread did they drop on him?
Huh?
How much bread did they give him?
He just signed to like the 93-man roster on however big OTA is.
Okay.
I think it'll be interesting to see if he actually makes the
See if he can make the
53-man
52-man roster. Yeah.
Yep. They have him placed as a DT right now. He was a heavyweight wrestler. He kind of has.
He can play D
He's
tackle.
a little bit. Yeah, he's a little bit smaller than Aaron Donald type of build.
Aaron Donald?
That's his.
Aaron Donald?
No, that's his. That's low key like his build.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Dude, I was thinking this was like a wide receiver or something.
No, Gable is a monster. And I doubt he's been getting smaller.
He was an Olympic champ. I forgot to tell you guys that. He was the 2020 Olympic heavyweight champ. He has the hands to be in the NFL. I'll say that much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
It's just he's never played. So I think that one will be fun to watch in the offseason if he makes the final cut.
Oh, dude, if he gets a sack, I want him to give someone the people's elbow. Just to shout out the WWE.
So that'll be fun to watch. That'll be fun to watch. I think I don't know if you guys have heard about this. They announced it today. Pretty relevant in like the YouTube area, but Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. They were previously scheduled to fight July 20th, and they were moved to November 15th. Adrian, I want to know your thoughts on this fight. Should it happen? Is Mike too old? What's your thoughts?
When it first happened, I was like, okay. like, so we saw, I guess, how long ago was it? Maybe like a year and a half ago when Mike Tyson fought, oh boy, what was his name?
Roy Jones.
Yeah. And Mike Tyson, he was trying to stick him up, bro. He was like, you laughing? I was trying to kill him. And I was like, yo, relax, Mike. You taking medication? I didn't. And yeah, I was like, okay, Mike can still box, but like, what's the need? Like, you know what I mean? It's not gonna add to his resume. I guess he does. If he wants to check, go ahead. But like with Jake Paul, I'm hoping. I wanted to see it. I was hoping Mike Tyson could give him a mean ass hug and knock him down. I saw there was like special rules where it's like basically like stand and bang. You go till someone gets knocked out or something like that. And I was like, yeah, I want to see that. But so what happened with Mike? So like, why was it postponed? What happened?
So he was on a plane flight and he had an ulcer flare up. Which is kind of like a stomach pain kind of situation.
Well, ulcer is kind of like something that like eats away at itself.
Yes.
So like, yeah.
Well, is it kind of like like a mouse sore, but it's in his stomach.
Exactly.
Yes.
And it'll create like a little hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wanted to bring this up because this entire situation has been so weird to me.
Yes.
First of all, Jake Paul only fights old retired guys. We saw him fight APS, we saw him fight Ben Askren.
Hey, he's making a killing off the fight.
That's why he's doing it.
Yes,
he is.
But originally this fight was supposed to not be a pro-sanctioned fight. Everybody thought, okay, this is just going to be an exhibition for Netflix.
Exhibition, yeah.
And then as we saw fight camps go on, Tyson got locked in.
He probably got scared.
And he was ready to turn it to a pro fight. And honestly, I think he overworked himself. I think he's too old. Jake's a young guy. He's still a pro boxer. He's 240. I think if they scheduled this fight to be November 15th, I think they need to go back to headgear rules. This whole stand and bang until a knockout, that's just not good publicity for Mike. Especially after the incident on the plane.
Well, so do you think it was just like you get them from like this is why people tell you not to take like so much ibuprofen because you'll get an ulcer. So do you think he was just going too hard and just hella sore and just eating ibuprofen, Advil,
probably,
and just fucked up
That's
his
what
stomach?
I think.
He was probably taking pain relievers and stuff like that, and I mean, what can you ask out of a 57? But my thing is, the more you push it back, the older Tyson get. Like what?
I think he's just excited. He's excited. He lived for this stuff, and so like I'm happy for him. But
was he gonna be 58 by the time they fight, dude? Like, jeez.
Still though,
he ain't an old man though.
This would probably be his highest paid fight.
That's what I'm saying. Like
100%.
Jake Paul has all the eyes in the world on him. He has like 30 million on him.
Dude, I mean, when have you ever seen a live fight being broadcast on Netflix?
On Netflix.
Like they're definitely trying to change the game a little bit here. So like,
I just don't think Mike can do a pro fight. I don't think he makes the ring walk for a pro fight. But that'll be interesting to see November 15th. We'll see if there's any more delays. But yeah, that's one to look out for.
Yeah. If I can say anything to Mike, I'm just saying the words of Marshawn Lynch. Take care of your chicken.
take care of your chicken.
Take care of your bread.
Take care of your chicken, man.
Yeah. How about we talk about some real fighting?
Yeah.
What did you think of the last UFC card that we just watched?
I like that.
With Poirier main event.
Can I start with the co-main?
Yeah.
So the co-main Strickland.
Yeah.
Strickland versus Costa.
Yeah, Strickland versus
Costa.
Yeah. So I want to start here because this absolutely blew my mind. One of the judges scored the fight 49-46 for Paulo Costa.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah, it was odd. I hated that
What?
fight.
So like Sean Strickland won by split decision, but like he should have won by UD. I mean,
He
he
showed
should
up,
have.
but I hated watching that fight. He just walked him down the whole time. He did.
Well,
I
a lot of
hate
people
that. It reminds me
don't
of,
like the way he fights, but like it's successful for him, so he's just gonna keep doing it. Bro.
It reminds me of like when was it Aljamain when he fought Masvidal and he literally just kept locking him up in the cage and stomping on his fucking toes. You know what
Are you
I'm
talking about Masvidal Diaz?
No.
No.
It was Masvidal
No,
and
Masvidal beat the shit.
it wasn't Aljamain Sterling. It was the other. It was Usman.
Oh,
Usman is
Masvidal
professional
Usman.
top,
Are
right?
you talking about the? Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, he literally just had him on the cage the whole time, just stomping on his feet,
Mhm.
just gripping up against the cage. I'm like, dude, this is lame, dude. Like, fight. He didn't want to box him. Might as well just knee dude in the face. I don't want to get knee in the face.
Right.
Whatever, dude. Stomp his feet out. You're lame. But yeah, it was odd seeing that not be unanimous.
I think one thing I want to point out is that wasn't the only mistake the referee made. He messed up earlier in the early prelims and in the prelims. I'm pretty sure. It's questionable judging from that guy. Dana, I think, said he has no business being in the big league fights. He came out publicly and bashed that guy, and it was well deserved. In terms of the fight, Sean Strickland used that Philly shell so well.
Yeah.
He just walks people down.
Get that leg up.
Costa, and Costa pissed me off, honestly, because I knew he was going to take a more counterpunch approach. But he was never explosive with it.
Well, that's
I mean,
not how, and that's. I was telling Adrian before the fight. I'll let you continue after this. But I was telling Adrian before the fight. Paulo Costa pushes the pace. That's his style.
Yeah, it's him different being on the outside of the ring.
Yeah,
Like he's
exactly.
the one using his size and shit and getting in on people. And you could see him getting so frustrated that he wouldn't bang with them.
Yeah.
He was just poking them, just keeping his distance. It was almost like he was fucking dancing on him, dude.
Yeah.
Just pick up, boo. I was like,
And I'm pretty sure he was worried about getting hit with a big punch and just trying to survive late. But normally when you watch Costa, he has a few explosive moves. We didn't even see one from him, so that was very frustrating to see.
yeah, Paulo's one of my favorite fighters too. Ever since that Yoel Romero fight,
yeah.
that was such an awesome fight. So I was like, oh, I like both of these dudes now. More Paulo, but it was. I wasn't happy with it. I'm not a huge Strickland fan though, so like I didn't have like high expectations.
I think Strickland did exactly what he said he was going to do. He said he was going to go in there and walk him down, and that's what he did.
Yeah.
Fans weren't excited with his performance, but I think that was Costa's fault. I think
I agree.
Fight.
Strickland fought his fight.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
Before we get into the main event, I want to give fight of the night or finish of the night to Kevin
Holland.
Kevin
I was
Holland.
just about to ask you. How many seconds till you
Kevin.
tap out?
I'm tapping.
I'll tell you what.
I'm tapping out immediately.
I'll tell you what. I'm tapping out before he breaks my fucking arm.
That
That's
guy-
what I'll
that
tell you
dude's-
that much.
That dude's either stupid or a monster.
No, he's crazy. He's crazy. How do you not tap?
No, he was talking to the guy saying like, "Do you want to tap? Do you want to tap?" But I want to bring this up, guys, because this is what made it so amazing for me. Is he got knocked down before?
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
he got hit like
Yes.
three huge hits.
He got hit with the left. He got hit with the left. He got hit on the ground a few times, and then he turned it around and armed out of nowhere. I was like, "This is beautiful fighting." Kevin Holland is back. That Michael Page performance, he just wanted to stand with him. But we always know he pulled out that Darce against Chiesa.
Well, he's got like 8 career wins off submission, dude. Like he's nice with that shit. He is.
And it was nice to see that Kevin Holland, even though hurt, he's never out of the fight, which we didn't see that in the MVP fight. I was happy to see that from Kevin Holland.
I was watching that, and Isaiah had a parlay. You and Isaiah had a parlay together, and you needed Kevin Holland to win. And he got hit with 3 monster hits. I was like, Zay, he in trouble. Within like 15 seconds, like, oh, never mind. Dude's arm is bent. It looks like a Tetris piece.
My favorite part about that is I'm 90% sure Kevin Holland's got his arm just broken. He looks up at Herb Dean and he goes,
Call it.
I broke his arm. And I'm pretty sure that's when Herb Dean is like, hey, hey, this is a wrap, bro.
Well, hey, fair play to the other guy. I mean, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but he was ready to keep going with
he was. He was ready. He's
ready.
over here like, hey, come on, man, I'm ready.
Yep, he had Kevin hurt, and then he got caught. It was the fighting game. It was the fighting game. So, well, props to Kevin Holland.
Absolutely.
Hey, Zay, I want to hear your thoughts on the main event first.
Ooh, Dustin Diamond.
He's one of my favorite players. He's one of my favorite fighters too. He probably is my favorite.
I got a little history with Dustin. My favorite fighter currently and kind of for the last little bit has been Max Holloway, and Dustin beat Holloway for the interim title. So I kind of had a little beef with Dustin for a couple years. But, you know, Dustin's just a good dude, and he's a really good fighter. So it's the more you watch him, it's hard not to like him. So going into the fight, I'm definitely rooting for Dustin. I know what he's going up against. Islam, not only is he going to dominate you in the wrestling game, apparently his stand-up is good now, too, because he knocks out Volkanovski the fight before. So, like, you kind of got to watch out for that. And so Dustin comes out, and he's looking all right. He's looking pretty good, but you can tell Islam takes the advantage in the wrestling game. Mm-hmm. And then as the fight goes on, Dustin's kind of like, nah, bro. Like, you're not taking me down.
Well, his corner, he's really like, you can't get on that cage.
Exactly.
After that first round, like, do not get on that cage. And he stayed off the cage the whole round to the very end. He got another, Islam got another, not knockdown, takedown on him. And they're like, yeah, dude, he was deflecting these takedowns, which is impressive against Islam. Because he could tackle a bear.
Well, yeah,
he could tackle a tree.
Well, that was the thing. Was the coach's point was like, hey, listen, he can't take you down in the middle of the ring. So as long as you stay off the cage, he can't take you down. And you could see that happening throughout the fight. The more Dustin stayed in the pocket, stayed in the middle of the ring, he couldn't take him down as much.
And the thing is, too, Dustin didn't seem scared of his stand-up at all. That's why he was able to stay in the center of the ring. He was saying, let's bang. And Islam was banging, too. Islam was I'm here to throw hands. Yeah. And then he got Dustin pretty well, and then next thing you know, Dustin nasty gut.
Oh, the elbow!
That nasty.
Split him right in the eyebrow.
And he was leaking, bro. And I was like, at that point, after the fourth round, I was like, oh, it's 2-2.
Well, no, when Dustin split him, that's when you, like, felt the fight change. Mm-hmm. You're like, oh my God, Islam's, like, hurt. Like, Dustin can take this fight.
Yeah, but before that last round... Go ahead.
I'm going to have to disagree with you guys. I thought Dustin fought very well in an inevitable fight. But I think you guys are talking about Islam couldn't get that takedown in the middle. He showed phenomenal technique at the end with sweeping the leg up and getting that takedown. I think I had it going 3-1 into the fifth. I didn't see the 2-2. Maybe you give him round 3 and 4, but I thought Islam was dominant. But fair play to Dustin. He has heart. His 3 he's 0-3 in title fights, but it's against Khabib, Charles Oliveira, and
Khabib Jr.
I mean, yeah. He fought very well, and I guess the fighter in the world. So, fair play.
Yeah, I was thinking 2-2, just because I was giving him points for also his takedown defense as well. Because Islam was going for it, and Dustin was getting him off, and yeah, he's gonna get some takedowns. Like, I'm not saying he completely shut him down, because you can't do that with a python.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, I'm giving him points for his defense, because that's almost as hard as taking someone down. I want to say, at least of that caliber.
No, it's when you're fighting a guy like Islam, it is just as hard to stop his takedown than it is for him to take you down. Mm-hmm. And it might be easier for him to take you down because yes,
that's what I'm getting at. And and so I saw the momentum going. I was like, okay, this could be it right here. I'm not going to argue with 3-1. I mean, he lost the fight.
No, it's probably right. He's probably right. I didn't. You said 2-2. I didn't necessarily see it 2-2. But my point was, you could feel the momentum in the fight change when Dustin split his eye. It definitely felt for definitely probably the second half of that third, fourth round. it definitely felt like Dustin was starting to take over. And then Islam starts to get back to his shit. He starts hitting him a little bit, and then he gets back to his takedown. And yeah, it is what it is.
And that's kind of what I mean by the inevitable is even though
he's going to take you down,
takedowns, Islam was going to get that last takedown.
Yeah.
It was just a matter of time for Islam, and we saw how tired Dustin was in that 5th round, just so exhausted.
Yeah.
Because honestly, if he's a little bit fresher, he probably doesn't get choked out, and he probably just loses on the decision. But he even said after the fight that he was going out in the choke. That's why he tapped. So
I got something quick before we move on out of UFC. Islam did say, I want the 170 belt. That's what I want to do next. What do you think about Islam versus Lyin?
Edwards?
Yes, that's the champ.
So obviously, Edwards has Muhammad coming up on 3 and 4. I think he should be able to take care of that pretty easily. But as far as Islam, I'd like to see him fight Mozart Avola first, or even I don't think Ikram's ready, but even Ikram, the guy that he fought in his UFC debut.
I just think I get you, but like the UFC, they're not always gonna give it to like who deserves it. Like what, like Islam being that big of a draw versus Lyin, they're gonna try to do that, bro. They're definitely gonna try to do that before they get some guy you don't know his last name. You know what I mean? Like, let's be honest.
But don't you think they try and set up a Lyin versus Chimaev or Kazmat? Not Kazmat, Shavkat before you go to Islam? I mean, my whole thing with Islam is he has what, 3 or 4 title defenses, and 2 of them are against a guy that's lighter than him, not even his division. So what are we talking about coming up? I mean, maybe in his eyes he sees that he did it for the little guy, so now it's his turn. But I fight your own division first, man. I'm tired of this double champ hold. I think 3 to 4 title defenses.
I think you should be able to. I think you need to destroy your division before.
Hear me out though. He's not also, as I said what I said. He's not going to get a fast track. So when he comes to the division, he's going to fight one of those guys that you're talking about, like a Chimaev or a Shavkat Rakhmonov. You know what I mean? He's going to fight one of those guys, and if he beats him, that gives him the access to Lyin. So he's definitely going to get tested before he just goes straight for the champ. They don't let guys do that.
I'd like to see him against maybe the winner of Michael Venom Page versus Ian Gary. I think with Islam, there's so many fun matchups.
He kills Ian Gary. He kills Ian Gary. Yeah.
But I think MVP beats Ian.
Yeah, that's fair. That's
a different topic.
Yeah.
But I'd be very disappointed if the UFC fast-tracked Islam to the title. I think he either needs to fight more guys in his own division, maybe give Charles that a rematch, even though Islam's not interested in that.
Charles is lost.
Just one or two more fights. Yeah, that's true.
Who does he fight?
One or two more fights before he goes up. And you can give him Armin. You can give him, like I said, those guys, Shavkat or Chimaev.
No, I'm talking about
is an option, even though he's a lighter guy.
No, and like for his title before he goes up is what I'm asking.
I'd go Armin probably.
Armin.
Yeah.
What do you think about this Dan Hurley rumor?
The Lakers head coaching drama?
Yeah, I'm seeing right here that it said they apparently, rumor, is they offered him $100 million guaranteed.
I saw.
You say $100 million?
$100 million guaranteed contract.
I'll start it off. We saw Shams, so we talked about it in episode 2. We talked about Jay got right to the Lakers. But I really like Dan Hurley to the Lakers. He was back-to-back college champion, and then he was the Naismith Coach of the Year. So I think he fits well for the Lakers, although the only problem could be that he might try and overpower his guys. We saw it I don't want to compare it to the NFL, but we saw with Urban Meyer going from Ohio State to the big leagues. As long as he doesn't try and do anything egregious to those guys and get them in a different style that they don't like, I think that'll fit for the Lakers.
I mean, do you think at this point he's thinking like, I own college after going back to back like that? Like, do you think he'd want to take on the challenge of, going to this old trash Lakers team and trying to build something, or should he just keep it pushing in college and build a dynasty at UConn?
Well, look, even if say he stays at UConn one more year, wins another championship, he's gonna probably get a different offer next year.
Yeah.
And who knows? It could definitely be a better situation. But I think for the Lakers, it's like AJ said, it's probably a better route than JJ Redick.
Oh yeah, you saw what he could do.
You know what I mean? Exactly. You just saw the kind of chemistry and camaraderie he could kind of build within a group of people. I mean, obviously, you kind of have a group of young men versus a group of grown men. So it's definitely a difference.
That's what I'm a little worried about
it's
too.
Definitely a difference there.
It's different coaching people who are younger than you.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say they necessarily have to look up to him, but a coach is more of a role model in your life. At least that's how I've always seen it. When you're a grown ass man, you're 40 years old. You're LeBron.
Yeah.
You're not gonna look up to that man.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
You're just hoping he has a good enough basketball mind where you can connect with him. Which I'm hoping some of these players on that team don't have a coach that come in and I don't know how his coaching style. What if it's aggressive, or what if it's I don't know.
Right.
And I feel like going from college to the NBA, it could be like pissing the wind with how you treat these players, because you don't know how they're gonna take it. You could lose a locker room in a month.
Well, this is my thing. The good thing about going to the Lakers is that the head coach is gonna have LeBron James.
Yeah.
So as much as we talk about guys like JJ Redick and Dan Hurley losing the locker room because they're younger guys, they're different kind of culture guys. At the end of the day, LeBron's kind of gonna give them
He's the head of the locker room.
Exactly. He's gonna give them the fever of the locker room. You know what I mean? So I feel like he's not gonna.
If he says listen up,
yeah,
listen up.
Unless LeBron somehow gets into a conflict with one of the guys, I don't see how he one of those coaches aren't gonna click with the Lakers locker room.
I agree. I might have overthought it.
No, I get you.
No, I said it with the like I said, Urban Meyer situation. Sometimes college coaches can come in and think they own a program or something like that.
Yeah.
But I think that has changed now with NIL. NIL, they kind of have to deal with those high school guys as pro athletes. I mean, they're giving them that much money. They could leave in 1 year with a transfer. So Dan Hurley, he dealt with that, and he dealt with that at the highest level. He went back to back.
Yeah.
So I think he'll transition well to the Lakers. But I am going to disagree with you. I think LeBron taking over that team is a thing for the Lakers.
You think it's what for the Lakers?
I think it's worse for the Lakers than having Dan Hurley take over. I think.
Well, no, I'm saying Dan Hurley.
Say,
I'm saying Dan Hurley's gonna take over, but I'm saying it's gonna be easier with LeBron being there.
Yeah,
if he's trying to be like a hard ass on these guys, and if they're not who are you? I'm in the NBA, but I make blah blah blah. You know what I mean? It's hard to take that kind of shit from someone when you're an NBA player. But if LeBron's listen
I was
to
just saying that LeBron could overshadow Dan Hurley, especially if the Lakers are going to give him $100 million, and that could cause tension as well. Because we saw LeBron do that with Ty Lue and Bill Walton, where he becomes the coach and those guys lose their job.
Yeah, but with Ty Lue, he won the championship.
That's true.
My point is, I don't think LeBron's going to try to be the head coach. My point is, LeBron's going to help whatever head coach comes in there click with the locker room.
Yeah, I agree with Isaiah.
Yeah. I can agree with that.
One of the last topics before we end the show, do you guys want to talk about the Pistons firing the general manager, Troy Weaver? The Pistons had a 28-game losing streak this season. People were betting on, you could have bet that the Pistons wouldn't win another game for the rest of the season. And people were taking that bet. I think it's stupid, but anyways, some of Troy Weaver's picks that he's made in his time, it's gotten better. So when he first started, he took Killian Hayes with the 7th, Isaiah Stewart with the 16th, Sadiq Bey with the 19th, and Saban Lee with the 38th in the 2020 NBA draft.
Terrible class.
That draft had.
That's tough.
He could have got Tyrese Halliburton instead of Killian Hayes.
That's a star. There's good guys in that.
It's a good draft. It's kind of.
It's not a great. No, listen. We redrafted
the top
2020
5. The top
draft.
5 are good.
Yeah.
He could have gotten.
Yeah.
He could have gotten Tyrese Halliburton. He could have gotten
Yeah.
Jaden McDaniels.
Yeah.
Anyways, next year they get the first row of a pick, 2021. They get Cade Cunningham.
And you can't really. I'm
You
gonna
can't
be
argue
honest
that
with you. You can't miss on Cade Cunningham. The number 1 guy was Cade Cunningham. You don't miss that.
Cade, Jalen, and Mobley.
Yeah.
That was Mobley. Right? Yeah, that was Mobley.
Yeah.
And then 42nd pick, 2nd round pick, Isaiah Livers.
Never heard of him.
You never heard of him?
Isaiah Livers? No.
He be balling. 52nd pick, Luka Garza, big dubs. And then the 57th pick, Balsa Koprivica. I don't know, but that pick got better. You see Luka Garza on the Timberwolves balling, doing his thing.
I don't know if that pick.
But getting Cade is good, but you can't mess up that pick. And then 2022 followed it up. Jaden Ivey with the 5th. I think it's a good pick, but just not for their team. For some reason, they just don't like him. I don't understand why.
He's a good basketball player. He is.
Jalen Duren with the 13th pick. I think that's a solid pick.
He's good for
I like him. He started off on fire this year. He was grabbing like 20. He had like 2 20-20 games or something like that. So I like him. I think he's a solid player to have on your team, your young team. And then this year, this most recent draft, they took Asar Thompson with the 5th, and I think that was a great pick as well.
Mm-hmm.
He looks very explosive. He looks like he can lock down. And that's the only thing about those Thompson brothers, they can't shoot, but hopefully they can. And then they took Marcus Sasser at the 25th. Sure. Are they going to miss this guy?
No.
Probably
They're
not.
not going to miss this
But
guy.
over there, they have gotten better at drafting, I want to say.
Yeah. And it might be
at least
people-
last year.
Yeah. They definitely need a change. You gotta get a new set of eyes in there. You can't just be one of the worst teams in the league every single year.
They've been rebuilding for like
you can't be
since Blake Griffin was there.
Exactly.
And you just got lucky that he was there and
yeah.
made you somewhat decent. Their future is probably still rebuilding for a while unless they can get something. They're gonna have to like trade if they really want to be something decent because they're not gonna be able to go to the draft for this long. This year, what do they have?
The Pistons pick?
They have the 5th pick.
5th pick again. I mean,
And it's not. So, do you think they should try to trade it?
Look, here's my opinion on the new GM for the Pistons. They still have Monty Williams. Troy Weaver hired him for a 6-year, $78.5 million contract. We'll see how that plays out.
he looked like he did not want to be there.
No, he looked like he came for a check.
He did it.
Technical difficulties again. We're back. We have to pay for Zoom Plus or whatever, whatever it is.
Yeah, we're gonna have to upgrade our meeting package or whatever it is. But like I was saying, Monty Williams looked checked out the entire season, especially during that 28-game losing streak. So I think the next GM has some stuff to figure out. With the 5th pick, do you go more shooting or do you go big? And then you gotta check and see how checked in Monty Williams is because last year just was abysmal for that Pistons team.
It was. It was embarrassing, is what it was.
That's a team that should not go 0-28.
No.
Yeah, they have enough talent to be somewhat decent.
Yes. I have a question.
Yes.
I have a question though. Do you think that was kind of partly to Monty Williams' relationship with Troy Weaver? Because if the GM wasn't giving him any control of the franchise as a head coach, you kind of feel like you're in purgatory a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I can see where if the GM was like kind of not letting Monty get any control of the team's decisions, I can see that. But like other than that, I don't know, man. That's not a good look. It's not a good look for Monty, especially when he just got the bag he got. If I was a Detroit oh my goodness,
Detroit Panthers.
Detroit Pistons fan, I would not be happy with Monty Williams.
Oh no, I'd be happy about the Lions though. I'd be happy about the Lions though.
No, I think last thought on this, the whole firing of Troy Weaver, I think I think the new GM would be just fine. They still have some solid pieces. Obviously, you can't miss with Cade. I think Asar is really good defensively. And then Jaden Ivey or Jalen Duran, I think either one of them could develop into a solid player in the NBA. This next GM, just you gotta make some trades. I mean, you're not gonna have a Sam Presti type of 27 first round picks and hope they all work, because we've seen in the past the Pistons don't hit that much. So, new GM, they're gonna have a few picks, especially lottery for the next few years. But make some trades. I mean, this draft isn't that good either.
I would
in
say
terms of prospects.
I would say the thing is though, like, Pistons don't really have a guy that they can just often get 5 first round picks for, like Paul George. You know what I mean? They're not gonna do that with Cade. So like,
No, but they can definitely throw in. Oh, if I can get 2 Piston picks, I'll give you something better than 5 Thunder picks. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather have 2 Piston picks. But you could definitely go. They could go after a guy like even if they just went and got Zach LaVine. You know what I mean? I mean something.
I don't know. Doesn't that seem like?
I think with the Pistons,
What's the point?
it is kind of what's the point, but I think with the Pistons, anything helps.
Anything.
That's
Anything
fair.
just
That's
to make
fair.
a move to show
Very
that you kind of care.
To show that you care, that you're trying to win
Yes.
some games.
They need help. That's they need help.
It'd be good for their fans too, getting a
I
guy like
hope they
Zach
have-
LaVine in there.
Yes. Well, I just hope the new GM is more aggressive, because Troy Reader really didn't do anything except
No,
for
they
draft.
just draft and they drafted poorly. They're an embarrassment, I think. And even like the Magic have been like a kind of bad franchise throughout the years, but they have been drafting like madmen. They've been doing great.
Yeah.
Even like when Jalen Suggs looked like a bad pick, but now he's playing pretty decent.
Yeah.
I mean, not like a top 4 pick, but like still, he's been all right. Thank you guys for watching or listening to our newest episode 3 of the Lyin podcast. Like, subscribe if you liked it. Tell a friend and tell a friend. Again, thank you for taking your time and spending it with us. I really appreciate it if you did. Thank you to AJ for holding up the computer for us. Even though we had problems, it was nice to have. And